Hi guys, welcome to my channel. This is Max. I'm a massage therapist and an osteopath here in Barcelona. We are here with Nadiya. She's an artist, she's a polyamorous woman. She will explain her philosophy about polyamory or polyamorous.
Yeah, polyamory, and then when you talk about what you are, you're polyamorous. Yeah.
Polyamorous. So all these while we're gonna, when she's gonna receive a deep tissue massage and a sport massage. And can you tell me exactly where is your pain?
Like here.
The neck. Yeah.
And then like my lower back.
The lower back.
You know, actually, my knees hurt sometimes.
Yeah. Yes.
And I hurt my Achilles.
Right.
So that hurts sometimes.
Okay, so we're gonna work on this three factor and we try to make it better. And let's start. So your neck, right? The neck was a little tense.
Yeah.
So we are in Barcelona and it's a little cold. We try to make it warmer. So, yeah. My hands are cold.
No.
It's just that. Yeah. How do you like Barcelona?
Oh, I love Barcelona.
Yeah?
Yeah, it just has a nice vibe here.
Are you originally from?
I grew up in Chicago,
Okay.
and I spent most of my adult life in Atlanta. But I've been doing like the nomad thing.
The what?
Like nomad,
Oh, okay.
digital nomad, I guess they call it these days. So I came to Barcelona to kind of see if I like to kind of chill here for a minute because I've been traveling full time for like the past 2 years or so.
And it's Barcelona treating you right? Do you
It
enjoy,
is.
Do you enjoy the fiesta here?
Yeah, I like it here. I like the waterfront, and I like the like the little spots, like night spots and stuff.
Right.
And dancing, I love that Latin dancing. Yeah, so it's cool. So,
Yeah, you're a singer too. I saw some videos.
Yeah, I do some singing. I love to sing too.
What kind of singing do you do?
Like soulful, R&B, neo soul type, jazzy stuff. So.
Do you sing here? No, you didn't have time to.
I was found a spot, but that's one of the reasons why I want to kind of find a place to just sit out, settle for a little while so I can start building some connections and start singing again.
Too much?
I mean, it is painful, a little, but it's not.
Yeah, infraspinatus. It's always. Yeah, right here.
Yeah.
Now hold it with your hands. Grab it with the other hand and pull it. That's it again. And what about polyamorous? How does it work?
So polyamory is the practice. It's like a love style of ethical non-monogamy.
Okay.
I love it. I mean, it's such a beautiful way to love, in my opinion, and it fits me. And I think that actually it could help a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah, because when you look around, I think most people are not naturally monogamous.
Right, especially men. Well, I don't know if it's especially men, but
yeah, well, I don't know, maybe that's what they say about men. But women, well, let me just put it like this. I mean, we're all divine sexual beings, right? And we have this energy that we use to connect with people. And so, this kind of takes into account this way of loving that there's another way to love. There's not just one box. A lot of us don't even fit in that box. And so you have, Ooh, yeah.
Feels that?
No, that feels good. Like our relationships are in turmoil and they're based on lies and deceptions and, you know, there's a whole cheating culture.
Right, so you say that a lot of people cheat and lie in their relationship.
For sure.
It's kind of sure that it's like that. Because in theory, no, that shouldn't happen, right?
Well, I think we just need to be more honest about our desires. So I think that, you know, some people that cheat, right? It's because I guess people have different reasons, but I think ultimately we're trying to set the bar too high that you're just gonna be with this one person forever.
Right.
Or that this one person can offer you everything that you want to experience in life.
So having an open relationship is like polyamory, or is different?
It falls under there. So under polyamory, you have different relationship configurations.
Right.
And so some people do open relationships, and those, they sort of fall into polyamory. And I say sort of just in the sense that
Sorry.
a lot of times, like open relationships usually take like a primary type relationship and they open it up to like sexual partners, right? Outside of the relationship.
Right.
But polyamory is more than sex. It's about having actual connected relationships with other people.
Yeah, because I heard in open relationships sometimes you have sexual relationship, and most of the time you have a idea like you can't repeat with the same person because you create an extra marital relationship. So that can be, you know, a source of jealousy and any kind of problem.
Yeah, for sure. Because here's the thing. It's like when you try to say, oh, you can see other people, but you can't get your...
So what were you saying?
So you run into issues in like these open type relationships, like where you say, oh, you can have another sexual partner, but you can't get feelings involved.
Right.
I mean, you can't really regulate a person's feelings. And like, even if sex is intimate, even if you call it casual, it is, you know, it is a joining. And so, you know, I think for a lot of people, a natural offshoot would be to develop feelings. So a lot of times when people venture into non-monogamy, they start with that because there's sort of a gateway into polyamory, right? In the sense that it still kind of maintains some of these ideas about monogamy, right? But I think that people should go deeper than that. Because there's a lot of things that have just been ideas about loving other people that have been instilled in us just from, you know, society, pop culture. You know, I think if we started to see more examples of different ways of loving, more inclusive ways of loving, then, you know, that would help all of us get along better, you know.
Right. What about jealousy though? What about if somebody cannot, maybe you can have more, you can be right with this kind of a relationship at the beginning, but then you meet somebody that in a way it's stronger than the main relationship. What's going to happen in that case? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. So this is why this primary dichotomy can be a little fraught, right? Because again, when you're opening up and you're having relationships with other people, it's because you are, allowed, I guess, for lack of a better term, then it's not about replacing anybody. Your relationships with every person is going to be different because the people are different. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And so if you have strong feelings for another person, it doesn't threaten the so-called primary relationship. It doesn't have to.
So there is a primary relationship and there is a hierarchy, or it's just like a chemistry formula where you have all this carbon all around and they connect with other carbons. You know what I mean?
Mm-mm.
No.
No, wait.
So you have a relationship that is like a pyramid relationship.
Uh-huh.
And so you have the main one, and then you have all the other one.
Yeah.
Or you can have multiple relationship in the same time without the main one. You know?
Right. Absolutely. And so that to me is the beauty of this love style, because you can have any configuration you want to. You can have a primary relationship if you want, and you can have secondaries if you like. You can have a relationship where you have two partners,
Mm-hmm.
and so when you get like dive into so the nice thing about polyamory is that you can configure any type of relationship dynamic that you wish, right? So they have a lot of terminology in this community. So, like, you can have a relationship that's like a V, right? Where you are a person and you have two partners, in sort of like a V shape, where your two partners don't relate to each other, or maybe you're just friends. Or you can have that relationship where all three people are in a relationship. You can have relationships with, couples. You can,
How do you? Yeah. Mm-hmm. So it's difficult.
Yeah.
Couples.
So I guess what I'm saying is, I think the best way to do it, right, is to focus on an actual connection with another person. Because really, you can only build one connection at a time, even if you have multiple connections, if that makes sense. And so instead of like saying, I want to have this type of configuration, it's like I'm open to meeting people who I connect with and who I vibe with. And how do these relationships form organically?
So you can have a V-shaped relationship. The partner never meet each other. I mean, the partner together, but your extra partner will never meet the other one.
Well, it may not be meeting. Like, when I say V, I mean that your two partners don't have a romantic relationship with each other. They have a relationship with you. Now, some people have, they have like kitchen table poly, parallel poly, which means, so some people will want all of their partners to meet and like hang out and kick it, right?
How does it work in that case? It's easy.
It depends.
Depends on the couple, right?
It depends on the person. Yeah, the people.
What did it happen to you?
What's that?
To have this kind of party where you meet other couples.
I have not had the honor of having those types of relationships as yet, but that would be ideal. So they have some people that do poly, and they'll say, "Oh, like a don't ask, don't tell."
Mm-hmm.
For me, that kind of takes away from the beauty, because it's like when you have a partner and you can talk to them about anything, and you can tell them about the other people that you're involved with and the other pleasures that you're enjoying. I think I don't know, I like that. Just kind of.
So sharing with your partner.
Yeah, for sure.
You like because it's interesting, add something to the relationship and make it more spicy, or it's because create more connection with your partner to make you go deeper into. What's the reason?
It's all of that.
All of that, yeah.
All of that, because and I think also. Sometimes like when you're in a long-term relationship and you pretty much know what's gonna happen with your relationship. You know, it just kind of moves into a different.
Like it is gonna finish. That's what you're saying.
No. It's just more like a comfortable relationship. Like when you start out, you know, your relationship is real, like sexy and exciting because it's still mystery, right?
Right.
But then once you get into a long-term relationship, you get into like that comfort stage.
Yeah.
And so, like, if you're in a position where you're talking about other stuff that you're doing, not involving your partner, I think that's just interesting because now that's just, to me, it like creates some mystery to your partner again.
Right.
You know, that they have these things that they're doing that don't directly involve you, but they can tell you about.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's interesting.
What about insecurities? Doesn't create insecurities?
This lifestyle requires you to do a lot of inner work.
Right.
We've been socialized to think that jealousy means that you really love that person, and that's just ridiculous.
No, of course.
Yeah,
of course.
you know, jealousy, it's not that, depending on who you are, it's not that you don't feel these emotions. You could feel them. It's how you deal with them. And so now when you feel jealous, you know, instead of to act out, right, then you look within. You're like, oh, why am I having these feelings? And then you examine kind of what happened. So let's say, for instance, your partner had a date, but they said that they would text you, I don't know, they would text you at a certain time just to touch base or whatever.
Right.
And they didn't text you. And so then you start feeling jealous or some kind of way. But then you really, instead of like cursing your partner out, you will realize, oh, they said they would do something and they didn't. So then you would just have a conversation with your partner.
That's why you have to create some kind of boundary or limits, right? Something that, no? Some kind of rules or, no?
I don't like rules, right? But I do like boundaries, and here's why. I like boundaries and agreements because a rule means I'm regulating your behavior, is how I take it. Mm-hmm. A boundary is behavior that you set for yourself. So you're saying, instead of telling your partner you can't do this or that, you're saying what you will do. If you do this or that, I will do this, because that's you setting your boundaries about how you want to be treated.
Right.
And you know, and so there's boundary setting and there are agreements, not rules.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So, and I think when you try to, I think that's one of the big problems with monogamy is really trying to police your partner's behavior and thinking that now you own your partner because you're in a relationship with them. And so this person becomes a possession that you want to control or limit or restrict for your comfort. So you flip that with polyamory, and then it becomes, how can I love this person in the way they need to be loved? How can I love this person and support them in what they want to experience?
That wouldn't be, I mean, if somebody has a personality that is kind of selfish and want to try to do polyamory, how can you get over this kind of because I'm trying to do the devil advocate, try to figure it out. For some people, how can you really handle this kind of situation in a peaceful way? Yeah, because I'm sure. Did you have any drama or something from your experience that is, or friends that have this kind of relationship and end up because the tension was too much, or?
I mean, I don't know anyone personally, but relationships can be difficult, right? Regardless of whether it's monogamous or polyamorous, just for different reasons. But what helps is to, and this is for any relationship, is to value peace and agreement, and to know, because you're going to have conflicts, right?
Right.
So it's like, how do you deal with conflict? By having a conversation. It does not have to be dramatic. If you show up as your best self, being honest, I don't see what there is to be dramatic about.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but then again, you know, this comes from doing work on yourself, right? Because
what do you think about like a language of love, like 5 love language? Is can be, for example, if you have a word of affirmation of quality time with somebody, can you move it in a polyamory relationship? For example, you have a partner where you have mostly a word of affirmation like, oh, you're so cute, you can, and other that you have like quality time together, right? Is in a way you can see that spreading in every kind of relationship. Or it could be only in a monogamy relationship. This kind of,
right.
You know what I mean? This kind of language.
Yeah, that goes across, I think, love, period, right? Because again, even if you have multiple relationships, you have different relationships that stand alone, you know? So that you might have a partner that has one particular love style.
Face up. Face up. You have a partner, but...
could, you know, so it's the particular 2 people, even if it's more people. So these relationships are independent of each other. They should be. But, you know, they have, sometimes it's hard to shake. You know, they have what I feel is toxic monogamy. And they have toxic polyamory.
Oh, but it's toxic polyamory.
Oh, for sure.
So it's not like all roses.
No, not at all. Because it causes you to. You have to do different type of work, right? And some people still. Go into polyamory world and are not honest.
So they lie even.
Yeah, when it's individual. It's like you really have to work on yourself and you know, your intentions, your motivations. Because in this type of dynamic, these type of relationships, open and honest, well, in every relationship, open and honest communication is key.
Right.
And some people don't do it like that. Another way that polyamory can be toxic with these couples, when we're talking about these open relationships or these primary relationships, a lot of times these, again, when you kind of start to dip your toe into non-monogamy, the first thing a couple will do is, hey, let's go get a girlfriend, right? Okay. But what happens
Let's
is...
go what?
Let's go get a girlfriend.
Right.
And add to our relationship. And so what happens with that, especially like if the couple wants the woman, usually it's a woman. This is what they call a unicorn, right? To not date anybody else and just date the couple. But they don't have this, they call this person a third. And they put their relationship above this person. Do you know what I mean? And so sometimes like, let's say there's a woman that's entering a relationship and maybe the wife is starting to have some feelings about it or whatever. So she'll like, nah, veto it. Or the man might say, oh, my wife is feeling jealous right now or something. So we need to not see you. So they're treating this other person as this disposable,
right?
You know, person. But this person has feelings too.
Right.
You know. But there's so much literature out there now.
So what book would you suggest?
So there's this book called Polysecure.
Polysecure. So being secure and feeling safe and comfortable is the main issues.
Yeah, for sure.
Right.
There's one called More Than Two. And then just like a lot of...
Closer to here? Close to the edge. Yes.
And then there are a lot of like groups, Facebook groups or different sort of communities where you can see people actually doing this way, loving this way, and learn from their experiences and learn how to sort of avoid some of the pitfalls that could be found in this new way of loving.
How long do you know about this lifestyle?
I mean, it's been there. I think it's been there over the years, right? They may have called it different things, For me personally, I think after I got out of my marriage, and when I got out of it, it was like,
What do you mean?
it's like I'm free, and
How long was your marriage?
It wasn't a long marriage, but that whole thing, that really cemented for me that this is not my vibe.
The marriage.
Yeah, monogamy. So I have been like openly and fiercely polyamorous since like 2017. Because for me, it's not necessarily about that I have to have multiple partners. It's more about autonomy, in the sense that I'm a grown ass. Oh, can I?
No, you can't. You didn't say it. You didn't say it.
So look, I'm a grown woman.
Yeah.
I'm a sovereign being over my body, my thoughts, my energy, my time. And so that's what it is for me.
Move a little bit more closer to the. When you say energy, you talk a lot about energy. What do you mean?
So I kind of mean it on different levels in that context. So when I say my energy, it's more like where I focus my thoughts, where I focus my time.
Right.
We are energetic beings, and a lot of times the way we connect with other people is energetically.
Right.
And what I mean by that is like when you meet somebody, a lot of times you get a feeling. You feel a certain way in their presence. And a lot of times, it could be romantic, it could be on a friendship basis, but it's like these feelings that you get from other people. And so I'm not going to limit how I interact with people who I have a good vibe with, basically. So yeah, that's kind of what I mean by energy.
Is this good energy? A massage.
Oh, yes. So, I can, if anybody is interested in, loving this way, I mean, really, really do yourself a favor and look into it. Because I think it can be really transformative personally as as your personal work goes. And your evolution as a person in, loving yourself and loving other people unconditionally. Because we have been really taught to love conditionally.
And to love only one person.
And then a lot of times it's like contingent on, I'll continue to love you if you do this, that, and the other.
Right.
So I think with polyamory, it allows for a relationship to change. And so a lot of times...
But what about, for example, having kids? That creates a different kind of environment in the relationship, right?
Well, it's just... go ahead.
Because how are you going to explain to kids or how you can be sure, well, you can do DNA testing. If you have a multiple partner, you're never sure who is going to be the father until you do a test, right?
Well, I think it depends on how you manage your sexuality. I mean, everybody has different sorts of ways that they conduct themselves. So some people may have one partner that they have unprotected sex with and have other partners that they use condoms with.
Mm-hmm.
If they have partners that they don't use condoms with, multiple people, and that happens, I mean, that's just a consequence. I mean, it's not to put a...
Because this is the real threat, I think, to the society of not knowing who is the main provider in the family. That creates an imbalance, especially for men that they don't know who is the main provider. You know what I mean? I think and that's why there is this pushing in society about getting married, have a family, a monogamy family, and not really to have multiple partners. Or it's always the guy that is multiple partners. After a certain age, is being seen as a creep, or is being seen before is seen like a Latin lover or a playboy or whatever. But eventually he has to get married to create what's the American dream, or the idea of having a family, to make the society work in a certain way based on the Christian or other religion, that is always, the family is always the center of. So, and I think because there is at the end the need to create an environment for kids, and that is in a way secure, because you don't know when you have a possibility to have multiple fathers. You don't know. You know what I mean? It's a
I
little.
kind of know what you mean, but I don't really agree necessarily with how you're framing it.
Right.
Only because, I mean, there can only be one father to a child, so those things reveal themselves.
Right.
Yeah,
but if the mother is going out with, for example, the another partner, that so they go to the Luna Park or to the Six Flags with another polyamory with the kid or for another father. It can be kind of weird, no? For the kid.
I don't think so.
No?
Because again, here's the thing. I mean, children learn what we teach them. Yes. And they are resilient. And so, for instance, you would tell a child, hey, like when they had that big debate about gay marriage, you tell a child, hey, you have two moms. And they're like, oh, okay, I have two moms.
Yeah.
If you tell a child, hey, we have a loving tribe of people, of adults that love you and care for you. Yeah. This is our family.
But what if in the school, though, that is not it's not taught, sorry. You know what I mean? It's taught like the mother or two fathers, but not the tribe. So we need to create other books.
So that's what I'm saying. I guess that's what I'm saying, and this is why I talk about this, because one thing is that life is change, and that our society is changing all the time as we get new technology, as we start to embrace other ideas. So all this is an idea. All our life, the way that we live is somebody's idea of what life should be.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, it's like, especially, you know, being out in the world and seeing how different cultures live and stuff, and how they're different, because it's just somebody made a decision to do something differently.
Right.
And people will say, okay. And so, for me, I think that it is our birthright to live our life as we see fit, that appeals to or fits our natural, our particular natural way of being. For me, it is, you know, freedom. I mean, I don't know. Everybody, I think, wants to be able to be themselves, even if it doesn't look how, you know, society. You know what? I read like this story about this I think it was a woman and two men that were in a relationship, and they all like lived in the same house.
A woman and two men.
Yeah, and it was something like they decided to just raise the children as two dads and a mom. So they didn't really care whose child it was.
Was it a fiction story or is it a real story?
No, it's a real story.
Where was it? Do you remember in what state?
I think I saw, it was like a documentary, actually.
Oh, good.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be. Push back and relax. Push back and relax. Push back and relax. Relax. How you feeling?
Oh, I feel excellent.
Sit up, please. If you can. Okay, you feel a little bit more free in your.
Oh yeah, I feel like it's like my neck feel like yeah, I feel good.
Good. Okay. This is terrible. Sorry. Okay. Easy. Okay guys, subscribe to my channel, see you soon, and check my Patreon for interesting videos about massage, deep tissue, and plus size women. Thank you very much for following. Bye.